Hello, viewer. My name is PupCup Games, and welcome to Tarkov Arena Breaking the Meta. This series will focus on off-meta weapons in Tarkov Arena to determine how truly viable overlooked weapons are. Today, we will be examining the KS23. The KS23 is a Russian shotgun developed for suppressing prison riots. The calling card of this weapon is the caliber it fires. The barrel for the KS23 was repurposed from anti-aircraft barrels, though you probably already knew this story if you know a lot about the weapon. As such, it has a massive cartridge, allowing for more creative payloads to be created, primarily for non-lethal purposes in real life. One example of these specialty rounds in the game is the infamous Zveta flashbang round. If you've had the unfortunate experience of having these used against you, I am very sorry for the loss of your kid. However, for balance, thankfully, Arena removes these rounds in favor of the more lethal rounds. Let's talk about some of the specific stats of the weapon. It is a pump-action weapon, firing 23 by 75mm shells in units. This equates to 4 gauge. In case you didn't know, that is ungodly huge. It has the capacity of 3 shells plus 1 in the chamber, which is not a lot to work with, but it's necessary to tame the weapon's firepower. It has a base of 33 ergonomics, making for a somewhat wieldy weapon. The pros and cons of this weapon are very unique, so let's talk about them. The main pro of the weapon, and the main draw, is the weapon's caliber, as stated prior. If done correctly, some ammunition types allow the shooter to kill in one shot to the leg. This is a massive advantage, as it allows you to completely bypass torso armor and helmets in favor of turning their legs into not legs. The weapon is also very cheap at 776 metascore. One M4A1 costs 5 KS23s. This means that you can upgrade other parts of your loadout. There are a few cons that hold the weapon back, however. The least important con to me is the lack of customization. You can change the stock and the barrel length, and that's about it. You can use the reflex sight, however, for me, the reflex sight is way too fuzzy, and it reduces the ergo. The fire rate is also super slow, even by pump action standards. For example, the MP133 shotgun, the de facto pump action shotgun in Tarkov, has a fire rate of 30 rounds per minute. By comparison, the KS23 has a fire rate of, wait a minute, 30 rounds per minute? That can't be right, it shoots way slower, hold on. So I guess the stats in game are just wrong, because that is definitely slower. This is the primary drawback of the KS23. Moving on, the capacity of 3+1 is simply not a lot to work with. In Tarkov, rate of fire and precision are king. I know that reloading for a long time is just par for the course for tube-fed shotguns, but at least those have 6+1 as a baseline. 3+1? Are you kidding me? Finally, the weapon has limited range, although you probably expected this. However, there is a remedy for this, and I will discuss that later in the video. There were 2 ammunition types I worked with for this guide, those being the 2 buckshot variants. There is a slug variant, but slugs with pump-action shotguns, especially with one that shoots this slow, is a great way to be sent to the spectator screen. Anyway, there are 2 types of buckshot, Trap 10 and Trap 25. The number indicates the effective range of the round. Trap 10 has more damage but less range. This is the ammunition type that can one-shot people to the leg. The Trap 25 has less damage but more range. Pretty simple options, but very different strategies between the 2. For my first build of the weapon, I wanted to prioritize the ergonomics and the short-range capabilities of the weapon. So, I went with the shorter barrel and Trap 10. My loadout for the first build looked like this. Because of the low cost of the weapon, I was able to use Tier 5 armor, on top of a decent helmet, a sidearm, and plenty of meds. So with all of that out of the way, how did my first round go with the KS23? Well, pretty good. Huh?
No, don't do it!
Wow, nice shot. Nice. What's up?
Now, if you stopped watching the video right now, don't. You would probably think the KS23 is a great weapon. However, once the initial charm of the KS23 wore off, my experience with it became much, much worse. Missing the first shot was a death sentence in most cases. The fire rate got me killed more often than not, and most unforgivingly, the weapon suddenly just felt inconsistent. Maybe my skill had just fallen off after my first game, but it really felt like a different weapon.
You screwed up now!
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What?
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
So I guess that's it then. The KS23 is just a gimmick weapon. Sure, it may be fun for a few rounds, but anyone with 2 brain cells and an automatic weapon is just gonna steamroll you. So I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna have to give this weapon a 3 out of 10. It has a fun gimmick, but it simply isn't consistent enough to rate any higher. Wait, why am I still here? I thought the video was over. Unless... I was so ready to write this weapon off, but after a while, I realized what was killing me most. Aiming for the legs. My years of game experience from Rainbow, Counter-Strike, and especially Tarkov had trained me to aim for the head, but in order to utilize the gimmick of the Shrap 10, I was essentially lobotomizing my skill by aiming for something on the complete opposite side of the body. So why not use the ammo type that rewards accuracy and just aim for the head? Sure, if they have a face shield, you may have some issues, but let me ask you something. Can you see who shot this guy? I didn't think so. My loadout for the Shrap 10 looked like this. I utilized the long barrel, but kept everything else pretty much the same. It was only after my first game with this loadout that I realized the true potential of the KS23. Aiming for the head just made the weapon so much more intuitive. It turned the KS23 from a gimmick to a head popper. While yes, you may run into moments like this,
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
the fun I had with it far outweighs those moments. The true rating for the KS23 is a solid 8 out of 10. The KS23 is a prime example of when the Russians did things the American way. Firepower and fun over function. Thank you for watching. My name is PupCup Games, and I will see you in the arena.